Okay, welcome to this edition of Inspire, Teach, Excel, our teaching podcast. I'm Emily Giubertoni, director of the skit, and today I'm with Ayla Zenkic, who is a computing teacher at Bishop Challoner at the moment, and also has been a silver winner at the Pearson Teaching Awards as Outstanding New Teacher of the Year. And I'm just going to have a lovely chance today to talk to Ayla about her training, about her first few years in teaching, and some of the lessons she's learned from that. So, lovely to meet you. Lovely to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Why did you decide to be a teacher?
So I knew from quite young that I wanted to go into teaching from when I was in school, just from seeing teachers and having a really good experience at school. I then did a sandwich course where I did an industrial placement for a year just to test out what industry would be like. And whilst I was there, I realised that wasn't for me. Just the long periods of time sat in front of a computer, a little bit boring, the 4 or 5 weeks off a year, and the whole no purpose kind of behind it, so like making money for someone else, not feeling like you're doing anything that was beneficial. So then I decided to go into teaching based off that, and then obviously that was ticking all those boxes in terms of purpose, more engaging, more interesting days.
So tell me a little bit about your teacher training year then. Like, where did you train? What was that like?
So I trained at Bishop Challoner, which was a really good experience. A very supportive school, and the teaching school's really well organised. Everyone's really knowledgeable, and even though I trained through COVID, it was still a really good experience, a really positive experience. And like I say, just very organised, very well run.
And you did have a very successful training year because you won awards in both your training and then your ECT year. What kind of things do you think helped you be successful in those circumstances?
I think especially during training year, a big one is being organised. So making sure I was on top of all my assignments, that I wasn't leaving them till the last minute. And the same with schoolwork and planning, making sure that it was all done early and then it could get checked. Being really motivated as well, so I really wanted to come into teaching. I knew it was what I wanted to do, so having that passion as well. And then just getting involved with as much things as possible, so things like clubs, trips, teaching online when it was COVID, so anything I could do I just got involved with.
And what were the highlights of your training year?
Starting to build relationships with students, so when they started to recognise me as a teacher rather than just someone that was maybe in the lesson or visiting the lesson. And I really enjoy clubs, so that still is, but always used to be the favourite part of my day, so running a club and being engaged with clubs.
We never really want to shy away from the fact that the training year can be quite challenging. It can be a tough year. So what were the main challenges in your training year? How did you overcome those?
So in mine, it was COVID was definitely a big challenge. And obviously then I had to adapt and teach online. But I think generally with the teaching year, the challenge is managing your time and having to do work and planning and assignments. Also for me, my subject knowledge, my background wasn't in computing, it was IT. So doing an SKE subject knowledge enhancement course before I started training really helped with making the training year a little bit easier.
Where do you think you've had the biggest impact on students as a teacher?
Engagement with computing, so students, especially girls taking computer science, and that was mostly because of clubs and trips that we ran, and then also because of some tweaks that we did to the curriculum to make it a bit more engaging. So definitely with the uptake in computer science.
Yeah, and that was part of what you won your ECT, Outstanding New Teacher, for driving that girls in STEM, girls in computing, wasn't it? Tell us about how your career has developed since you trained.
Since I've trained, I've taken on more Key Stage 4 and 5 classes, so teaching some A-level, taking on also some other subjects like business studies, and then also taking on a few extra things like being part of things like planning the curriculum, but I'm looking for some hopefully soon some extra responsibilities as well.
Is there anything that has surprised you about your teaching career, and if so, what?
I think because I have family members that are in teaching, I wouldn't say I was really surprised by anything. Maybe how funny students can be. But no, I wouldn't say anything really surprised me too much.
And have you got any advice you'd give a trainee teacher, somebody just starting out?
Yeah, just to use your time really wisely. Plan ahead, don't leave assignments to the last minute. Use your support network, use your department, use the teaching school.
So you've worked particularly to support girls in computing and to, like you say, engage more in computing. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so big push on that was the clubs, and in particular clubs for girls only, just because of the stereotype in computing about computing is a boys' subject, or boys would choose computing, and we would notice at the clubs as well that there would be a lot of boys there. We thought maybe that's why some girls won't attend, or it might be a bit intimidating. So we run a cyber girls club, which is girls only, and because of that we have seen some increase in numbers. And then also trips and, like I said, changing some of the curriculum to make it more engaging.
What kind of things do they do in the clubs, and what kind of trips have you run?
So in the clubs we focus on like code breaking, ciphers. So we try and really think about things that they'll find interesting, things that they can do collaboratively as well. And then trips that are linked to that, so like Bletchley Park, so understanding where the code breaking stems from.
What is the best or the worst thing about teaching for you?
For me, the best thing about teaching is that I genuinely love my job, and it's really nice to, it doesn't feel like a job as well. It's really nice to come to work or come to school and not feel like you're working, because it's so like varied. It's really like, it feels like it gives you purpose. You feel like you're doing something good, you're giving back. And then the worst thing would be having to occasionally manage behaviour.
That is always a challenge, isn't it, in
Yeah.
schools today? And we do lots of training on it, but it doesn't necessarily make it a fun part of the job. So let's finish up then with, what message would you like to send to anyone who was considering teacher training?
I would say that teaching's done a really amazing job, and I literally recommend it to anyone that I can, anyone that will listen. But I would say that you have to be passionate about wanting to be a teacher, because it is intense, especially in the training year. So you do have to really want to do it, and if you put in that effort in the first year in the training year, it does get easier and easier each year as you get more experienced and more confident.
Well, thank you very much. Very much appreciate you giving up the time to talk through these and for sharing all of your insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.